All right, so Ryan Stasik, welcome to the Hell Fucking Yeah podcast, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Anytime. I'm really excited about this one. Nice to meet you virtually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course, of course. I like this, man. This is like the first time I have like you have like a similar setup, you know, the mic, and usually people are on the phones or whatever. I mean that, you know, it's all good, it's all cool, but this is great.
We're going pro. We're going pro.
That's right. That's right.
I contemplated. It's like 85. It's a hot 80 out here. So I was thinking about doing back porch vibe, but then we've just been into the iPad and kind of hard to hear. Plus the kids are homeschooling, they're running around. So I figured maybe this would be a little cleaner.
Totally understand that. Where you living?
I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
Nice. It was hot out.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's you know, I'm in New York. I'm on Long Island.
Okay.
And it just, you know, it turns fall and it just rains. It's like ice rain until like March.
So I know.
Sucks. Got to close the pool and you know, just stay inside. It sucks, but whatever.
Yeah. There's actually a ton of people making the exodus coming from Connecticut, Jersey, New York down to Charleston.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but
yeah.
For now I'm stuck here.
And we can obviously curse, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually kind of required. So.
All right. Well,
fucking yeah. So for those who don't know, Ryan is the bassist for the genre-bending jam band Umphrey's McGee. So let's start at the beginning. The band formed in 1997 at the University of Notre Dame. How did this whole combination happen? Were they friends or were there additions or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because Brendan Bayless, who it's been 25 years we've been friends and making music together.
Yeah.
We actually have a show here in Charleston, South Carolina, where I am outside socially distanced on a beach this Friday. So he brought his whole family down from Chicago. Crazy times, man. They're homeschooling on vacation, but homeschooling. We're doing a bass and a acoustic guitar gig that got canceled in March and then got canceled again from COVID. So he's down here, which is great. But I met him at Notre Dame in 1995 and kind of vibed out and figured that, you know, I wanted to be in a band and play music. I did not play bass yet, and he didn't even own an electric guitar. So wow. We met, we hung out a few times and kind of had a lot in common and to similar music and to similar, extracurricular activities. And I was like, here's my guitar, man. I'll buy a bass. Let's make some original music. Obviously, you always start with covers and, you know, doing blues and doing everything until you get enough time and start writing. But we started making original music in 1995. We were in a band called Tashi Station. Brendan is kind of a Star Wars dork. So we did that for a little bit as a 3-piece and a 4-piece. And then there was a band that actually lived in my dorm. Our late drummer, Michael Muro, who had passed away. He lived in my dorm. Joel was the keyboard player. They were in more of a cover band called Stomper Bob. And they would play to packed houses all the time, all the underage kids, everybody. I mean, they were just the band at Notre Dame. But they weren't playing as much original music. And we were playing original music to like our 7 friends at the bars, you know?
Yeah.
So we decided to unite forces, and we became a 4-piece in late 97. Keys, drums, bass, guitar, and we just started writing music and said, hey, let's give this a shot. Let's really give this the old college try, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
So the debut album, Greatest Hits Volume 3, which is probably one of the funniest titles ever for our first record. It was recorded in the back of a Napa Auto Parts, if that's correct?
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. I actually have one sitting here. If you can see that.
No shit.
It is misspelled. Wait, is this one spelled correctly? Nah, this is the wrong one. Our first batch. There it is. Our manager came up and he's like, "Hey, I want to manage your band," and we're like,
"No
H." Maybe you should start by spelling. That's the house we lived in front of. Yeah, these are hard to find, but yeah, that was the first one. We're like, you know what? Why don't we do Greatest Hits Volume 3? That'll be the debut album. Songs for Older Women will be the second album. But to come full circle, this is why I think that idea was so genius. Obviously, it was completely fake, but we've thought about going back into the studio with the 6-piece that we are now, with Jake on guitar and Chris on drums. we thought, how great would it be to make Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2 and just record every track that we have that we've played together that has not been put on a studio record. So it kind of gives us some creative outlets there when we have some time to get some recording done.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. Is there anywhere to hear this? Besides, I mean, I know there's physical copies. It's all out of print, but is there anywhere to hear it digitally? I tried to find it, but
no, I don't think so. I've actually seen some copies selling for way more than they should be on eBay.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Brendan's, I think the girl he was dating at the time, it was her father. It was either his place or his uncle's place, and we just set up, a little mini studio in the back of Napa there and just pushed record.
It's fucking awesome, man.
All the mistakes, everything's on there. We just captured and said, let's get something out.
Hell yeah. So there's so many albums and live records. I'm really digging Anchor Drops, and more recently it's You. But I really can't stop listening to the cover mashup album Zonkey.
Yeah.
People around me are starting to get kind of pissed off, but I don't really care. I'm such a sucker for cover albums, mashups, things like that. I gotta say this one takes my #1 spot, man. Some of the mashups include Bob Marley, Frank Zappa, Fleetwood Mac and The Weeknd, Nirvana, MGMT, White Zombie, Pink Floyd, even Motorhead and Ween, which is insane. It's a nonstop party, really. So jam bands are known for great covers. How did this album come about?
Well, Fish had always been doing, big jam band, had been doing albums for Halloween. And we wanted to do something on Halloween that was kind of a theme or thematic for jam band fans. And when someone had given me an iPod in Chicago filled with thousands of songs on it. And I would put it on shuffle when I would run or just hang out. And one time this mashup came of Come Together and Come Closer, 9 Inch Nails and the Beatles. And we heard it in the back of the bus when we were like, man, we should cover this. This would be great. So we did it. We took that idea. And then Halloween was around the corner. And we said, you know what? We should just do this ourselves with our own music. And it's a lot more work than you think. You have to find songs that are similar tempos, similar keys that can change, and then kind of make these arrangements. And we had done it for a decade. And the funny part is that, being classic Umphrey McGee, we would wait until the end and rush everything, rush the charts. And I don't think we ever performed anything perfectly because we'd waste time until it was time to actually do it. So part of it was for us to be like, listen, we have spent 10 years writing and arranging and trying to come up with this concept. Let's put out a record so at least people can hear it correctly. And let's just have it for ourselves too, so we can say, hey, we put a ton of work and let it get out there. And I think it's also one of those records that, it's not Umphrey's McGee, but it's a novelty thing that we did, but it relates from all ages. Right. I mean, people who doesn't love Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, who doesn't love Michael Jackson, who does? I mean, and who loves Motorhead? Me, So you get all of those genres and things in there, and it gets people talking, and it can be clever, and I'm sure some people hate it too, but it was super fun to do. It was super fun. I thought it was pretty creative.
Absolutely, no, it's fantastic, and not only is it a mashup of 2 songs, it's mostly 3 songs on each track.
Yeah.
Which makes it even crazier, and the songs aren't really. I mean, you've had to. Well, actually, let me ask you this. Did you sit down and put these 3 songs together, or were these songs that you normally played live and you thought, oh, these would work together? Or did you sit down and experiment, this is going to work with this? Everything. I mean, the Ween song and the Motorhead song
are basically the same song. So that was pretty easy to put together. We're like, these sound so similar. I think it'd be pay, and out of respect, I love both bands. Right. The other ones was some we had not done at all, and we had come up with a lot of just trying things out, trial and error, tempos, keys, if we could hit the high notes, all of that came factored in. And in the beginning, when we first started 10 years ago, we had one where I think we did Land of Confusion with one of our songs, Whoppy Sprayberry, and maybe 3 other songs. There was Am I Evil, or there was Metallica. I mean, it was ridiculous. I remember when we charted, it was like a 17-minute song. We're like, what are we doing to ourselves? Trying to read these and memorize these things and then perform them on Halloween. So obviously some didn't make the cut. Some were better than others, and some worked better than others. But we tried to hit the whole spectrum there of every genre.
Sure. Will we ever hear Zonkey perform live front to back?
No. Absolutely not.
Is
Nah,
it?
you'll hear some tracks here and there. There was a while we were doing the mashups a little more frequently, and some more than others. Some seemed to be stronger, and then we felt like we were making people overdose on them, like we were giving too much. And it was
Right.
like we didn't want people to start getting sick of them. We didn't want the players to start getting sick of them too.
True.
But it's weird when you start playing mashups that much, then you go back and try to play just the original song. You totally, in our mind, we had changed the key of it. We changed the feel and arrangements, and you're like, oh man, I don't even know the original version anymore.
Right.
It's
Right.
funny.
Right. That's kind of funny because I would hear like, let's say, you did the Gorillaz and Metallica mashup.
Oh,
I hear either one of those tracks isolated by the original artist, and I'm gonna imagine, your version
yeah.
as the next bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty funny because I
cool.
actually I sang the Gorillaz part in the studio there because I don't sing. I told as a joke, I said if I'm ever going to sing on any of the records, I'm going to sing in a fake British accent, and I'm two for two on that. So
Nice.
staying true to my word.
That's awesome, man. Well, you nailed it. I actually looked for the vinyl for that. It was like $200 on eBay.
No,
It's like impossible to find. Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I think.
But yeah, if you don't have it,
some.
guys listening out there, go get it. And if you don't like it, then you don't like music, and I don't like you.
If you don't like it after spin 300, I understand. But spin one, give it a chance.
Oh yeah,
Give it a
absolutely,
chance.
absolutely. So there's a few bands to me where each member has a strong presence or identity. Bands like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Primus are some examples where the bass really stands out. So after listening to Umphrey's, I can easily say the same for you, man. When did you start playing the bass, and what other instruments do you play?
All right, we'll go from the beginning there. I started playing piano when I grew up in Pittsburgh at about 5. And I had a really cool piano teacher for 7 years. And it wasn't like classical music wasn't, and sight reading wasn't just crushed or over pushed. I was doing pop songs and top 40 tunes and jazz and ragtime. And it was really fun. And I kept wanting to come back to do it. And then when I left and moved to Michigan in 1988, I ended up getting a teacher that wanted me to play just classical and get rid of my ear training and focus more on sight reading and everything. And it became less fun for me because I'm more of an ear person and feel. I always have been. So when I moved to Michigan, I left all of my family, and the piano is not very mobile. And I was really, for the first time, rock and roll and new music was being presented to me by my new friends, and not my parents or cousins or colleagues and stuff. So there was this newness in '88. So Guns N' Roses and, listening to heavy metal, and I was playing hockey and just different. I was going through different changes because I had moved, and Guns N' Roses was like so dangerous and so cool. And I was loving that. So I have to play guitar. I wanted to play guitar. Plus I wanted to, pick up chicks, and piano was pretty tough to have mobile if you want to impress a chick with the piano. So the guitar seemed like the move. No. So when I played in some, crappy garage bands and some punk bands like in high school, and then I just, kind of self-taught, didn't have lessons, learned from tab and magazines and by my ear. Still played piano, but guitar was my main thing. When I went to Notre Dame, that's when I met Brendan. Played in a couple bands before Brendan where I switched between guitar and bass, and I always assumed that maybe I'd be in these types of bands where people change their instruments and we always switch around and do things. Sure. And there's a great band, Tortoise. They do that all the time out of Chicago. Awesome band. And then Brendan was like, man, I got this. I'll be the singer. I'll play guitar. I was like, all right, I'm going to play bass. But I didn't get serious about bass or start taking myself serious with it until I was probably 20 or 21. And then, there was so much that I didn't know and I had not studied and didn't dive into. Like I was finally discovering properly Jaco Pastorius and Mingus and started educating myself more. And then, when the internet came around and you were able to go down YouTube wormholes, I'm still learning, still digging, and there's just so much out there.
Sure.
Great. It's so cool to have this now, especially during this quarantine, teaching people and having references and other things to learn from and riffs and tricks and tips. It's pretty awesome. So,
yeah, I was actually going to get to that. Now, basicstasik.com, right?
Yeah.
You do live lessons, right?
I do.
It's awesome.
I do both. It's I'm a pretty social person, not very shy. So I do a little bit of both. Not everybody wants to play bass. Not everybody wants to learn bass. Some people just want to hang out and sip fine tequila or a cold Budweiser.
Sure.
So, like during these times, we kind of I can't say enough appreciation of like the fan support and helping. Everybody lost their job and trying to make ends meet. So it's cool to have either a half hour or 50 minutes of just a hang or a hang and a bass lesson, or just shooting the shit, having some beers, talking about life, asking any questions that people are curious about. Tons of people who've been to a bunch of shows have just had a ton of questions they want to ask. We just hang out, and it's been super fun for me too, because I'm hanging out with people. I'm engaging with fans, and I love that too. Not that I don't love being at home with my family. I really do, more than anything. But when you've been traveling for a couple decades and engaging with fans and people and new friends, it's a little weird to go down a lockdown and miss all that.
Sure. So how has it been for you actually during the pandemic? Like, have you been? Has there been any shows or any virtual events or anything like that besides?
Yeah,
obviously the lessons.
So I'm in a synthwave, a 6-piece synthwave band here called Flamingo in Charleston. Yep. So we all live by each other, and everybody's safe. Obviously, this goes without saying, safety first and everything, especially in the earlier months. But now we've gotten together and rehearsed. We actually played an outdoor drive-in setting, like socially distanced concert this last weekend, which was awesome. And we had done virtual shows before where we played in empty venues with just us and the crew. And it's just not the same when you're not playing to people. It feels so good to perform for people. Umphrey's has been able to do 2 drive-ins, one in Atlanta, one in Chicago. But as far as, it's pretty bleak for consistency in 2020. So we'll have to see what 2021 holds and what the future holds, and have a little more consistency in safe gigging.
Sure.
The virtual, it is what it is, but everybody prefers live music.
Of course. You did one recently too at like a motorway, right? Speedway?
Yeah, in Atlanta.
That was one in Atlanta.
Dude, it was a fucking hurricane on Saturday.
Shit.
We lost. It did some damage. It was sold out. There were a ton of people there. Then there were tornado warnings, so we have to be safe. And then all of a sudden we're like, okay, it's raining, but I think there's gonna be a break. Let's get out there and perform. We want to play. They want us to play. We need this. And a big shout out to the fans who stuck it out, because I know it was muddy. And then the rain. I've played in in Mexico and Dominican, all these other places. I've never seen a storm or this much rain coming down on us. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if it was safe, but we kept playing through it. We were losing gear. I lost 6 pedals, a bass a bass jack fry. I mean, it was just frying in front of us. And then it cleared up like an hour later, and we were able to finish the set and redeem ourselves. But there were some rough moments there for a little bit going through. You're watching pedals skits out and then break, and then you're pulling, troubleshooting live. That's always fun. That's always a fun part of a show. But I mean, overall, it was great. It was fun to perform live again up on a real stage and be with my homies. I just wish the damage wasn't as much as it was.
Sure. So on another band that you're in, you just mentioned Flamingo.
Yeah.
It's an electronic infused female-led outfit. How did this whole thing come about? Did you come together recently?
Almost 2 years now. It's kind of a funny story. My wife and I moved down here when we were pregnant with our first daughter, Amelia, at the end of 2012 from Chicago. And she had family down here. We wanted to be near family with having a kid. And I noticed after like 6 years living down here, I looked at her, I was like, I don't really have any friends. I don't know anybody. And I don't know any musicians. I should probably do that. I'm a musician. I'd like to play some local gigs. I'd like to play with people. I'd like to be out on the scene. Because, you're just busy traveling for Umphrey's. When I was home, I was with my wife and daughter and family man. So we put together a group, my friend Hank Wharton and my manager Vince Iwinski, who also lives down here. And it was kind of like a super group. Like, we didn't know what we were going to do. I thought maybe just one gig. And right. we didn't want to do funk. We didn't know what we wanted to do. And then synthwave kind of hit us in this 80s vibe we were all vibing with, and this electronic music. And Kanika Moore, our lead singer, is just a powerhouse. And they've all played with each other in every genre and every gig around town. Everybody knows everybody, and it was just it fit so well. And we immediately went into a studio and wrote music, and then we had a gig, and it just happened so fast. Yeah. And it was just clicking and connecting, and we can't wait to get back out on the road again as well with this outfit. Actually, we are going to go do a short outdoor little tour in Asheville, and make it up to Richmond, Virginia as well. with Doom Flamingo in early November here and play
Nice.
some outdoor gigs, which will be awesome. But
Yeah,
we have a Doom EP that we put out, which is our
Yeah.
dark side, and then we have a Flamingo EP, which is coming out very soon, which is more of the beachy, A1A Beachfront Avenue Lamborghinis at night with the palm trees vibe.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I actually downloaded the Doom EP yesterday.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thanks,
It's really cool. And listening to everything you're part of it's so eclectic. It's all it's like almost every genre of music. So it's really really cool.
Trying to kind of it's like you got to you can't be missionary every time. You got to move around. I've got a punk band that I've been writing music with too called The Hazards. Mike Ganser from Aqueous, he's up near Buffalo, Rochester area, and we've been writing punk songs, and we actually had a gig on March 12th in San Diego, but we were told to fly home that morning, and that's when COVID ended. So how punk rock is that? Your first gig gets canceled from COVID-19. But we've been writing and doing stuff, and then I'm also in an 80s kind of cover band with my Canadian friends, The New Deal, and that's called the Omega Moose, and it's very Revenge of the Nerds themed, and synth fronted with a fantastic synth player, Jamie Shields.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we do a lot of fun covers and dance music.
I can't wait to hear that. Is that going to be out like anytime soon or no?
We have not released anything. We've always just played festivals, after parties, after shows, our own shows when people have had time off just to have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So a couple little trivia questions here. Is it true? Is it true Umphrey's used to be a Star Wars tribute band?
False.
False.
Absolutely false. I mean, Bayless is definitely the Star Wars nerd, but that was more Tashi Station, our power trio, and then our quartet before Umphrey started. So technically, Tashi Station could have been a Star Wars tribute band. We did play Cantina band songs.
That's awesome. What does it mean when your set list says Jimmy Stewart?
Jimmy Stewart, Jazz Odyssey, improvisation, it all means the same. It really means people think it's something different, and we always lie just to fuck with people, but all it is that you guys are gonna do pure improvisation in that part, and it means it could go anywhere. It's boundaryless, and go for it, risk it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So what was it like to play the bass of Doom?
Oh my gosh, yes. Felix Pastorius, what an insanely genuine and awesome human being. I was in Brooklyn with him, and he's like, "Hey, you want to check something out in my apartment?" I came over, and he let me play the bass of Doom before it was going to, I believe, NAMM out in California. So it's flying out the next morning. And kind of it's weird. You get chills, and tried to play some Jocko riffs on it, and just hold it in my hands. It felt so honored and blessed. It was, and what a great guy, and what a killer player too. Felix is a badass, but he's a really awesome person.
Absolutely. So you guys are going to cover some Guns N' Roses songs live. What's your favorite one to cover?
The problem with covering Guns N' Roses is having people. You got to find the people who can sing it. That's just like doing Rush or Getty and Bruce Dickinson, Bruce stuff with Iron Maiden. Like that shit is high. So, I think Rocket Queen is definitely one of our favorite tunes collectively from all the guys in the band. We need to do more. Yeah. We need to do more. I don't think I've done enough to say that I have a favorite, man.
Yeah.
On
October 29th, you're playing the score for The Exorcist movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's really cool. So explain what's going on there. Like you playing the movie and playing the score to it? Oh, that's awesome.
So there's an outdoor at the Poorhouse, which is a fantastic, it's like family here in a venue, outdoor venue. And on the porch, they'll put up a big screen and they'll play The Exorcist. And Ross Bogan, a keyboardist in Doom Flamingo, him and the drummer, Stu, they had taken out all of the music from the movie and we rescored it. Wow. And we cue each other. And I'm going to do a rough run with them, which is interesting because I get to watch The Exorcist like 3 times in a row, which I have a fucked up story about that too, that I need to tell you. But I thought, how cool will this be? Definitely not one I'm bringing the kids to, but to sit here and then we're next to the stage and we improv and do all of the music and droning and during, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
So we can get a little creative and see what happens there. Just this more of like an art gig.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it seems fun. But here's the story. So my mom didn't really follow the rules as PG-13 or R-rated stuff. I saw some fucked up shit when I was really young. And I remember watching The Exorcist maybe for like the second or third time as a family, sitting around, and a picture fell up in our bathroom. And like we heard this boom, boom, boom. We're like, what the hell was that? And I remember my dad, he went up and got a knife, and I was behind him. My sister's behind me, and my mom was behind me. We creeped up. I mean, I'm like 6 years old. And we walked up, and we looked in the bathroom. He turned on the light, and the picture had fallen off, and we were just freaked out. I think I slept in my parents' bed for like 2 weeks. That was a messed up movie for me when I was a little kid. Now I've seen it so many times, it's almost comedic in some parts.
I know. I remember watching certain things like when I was younger, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Chucky, and now they're hilarious. But then, they were. It was really scary.
So I have a 2.5-year-old daughter named Mickey, and this is the last Halloween where my wife and I are able to dress her up as something we want to, and she's just a little maniac. So she's gonna be Chucky. She doesn't know what that is, but we ordered the whole costume. We gotta put the makeup on. It's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. That's great. Now your wife is gonna have a show on HGTV next year, right?
Dude, we just announced this yesterday. Yeah. She's a insanely talented interior designer, and she's been chasing this dream for quite a long time through in New York and in Colorado, and then when we were in Chicago, and now being here in the South. And she got picked up for a show. It's called Breaking Bland, and she goes in and does projects in local homes here, renovating and design, and breaks the bland and puts her spin on it, and it's been awesome. I've been able to see some of the stuff that she's been able to change, and it's like mind blown. It's awesome. I'm really cool. Proud of her. It's gonna be cool.
Well, we're definitely gonna be watching it. My wife loves shows like that.
Yeah.
And I told her about it when I was writing out the interview yesterday. She's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah."
March 2nd,
about it.
Tuesdays at 8:30. I think is where it's at.
Awesome. So what I'm gonna do now is bring up some pictures from Instagram.
Uh-oh.
Good ones.
Bananas.
Yeah, so this was our little this is the little promo picture I used for all the social and stuff like that. Any story behind this one, or
no, I think backstage one time they brought us like 60 bananas, an absurd amount of bananas. And I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do with all these bananas? So I just started signing them and started tossing them out to the crowd as a joke. I think I threw out like,
oh man, that would suck
20
though.
bananas.
I'd be like, I can't keep this unless I guess you can like cryogenically freeze it.
Just eat it. They're pretty ripe. Looks like they were pretty ripe already. So yeah.
All right. So first picture up, we got, I'm just going to explain them a little bit. So for the people listening, they have no idea what I'm talking about usually.
Okay.
So we got Ryan standing by the pool here. Full Budweiser from head to toe, Budweiser outfit, drinking a Budweiser. So do you love Budweiser, or is this like a Saturday?
This is more like a Tuesday, but I do love Budweiser. I've always loved Budweiser. My dad famously told me when I had come home in my hippie days and tried to make him drink like a cashew pine nut macadamia nut stout or something. He's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, we drink Budweiser. I'm a Bud man. He's like, if you're Stasik, you're a Bud man. I was like, that resonated with me. So my friends at Shinesty, big shout out to Shinesty Threads, they sent me this suit. They sell really awesome and funny clothing. You should check that out. And the sunglasses too, the Pit Vipers. On Shinesty, all those. So when quarantine came here in Charleston, they shut down the beaches, and we were locked in. We locked home. So I ordered one of those Intex easy setup pools. Yeah. So that is my above ground pool that I would put the Speedo on and do some belly flops to try to freak out the kids. And that's a Tuesday, crushing some cold buds in my Budweiser suit next to my redneck pool, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we ordered all kinds of crazy shit when the pandemic happened here in New York, because everything was locked down here too. I mean,
Totally.
beaches weren't even open anyway because it's cold. But movie theaters, everything closed. So yeah, we ordered like virtual reality headsets. It was fucking crazy. All right. So now we got Ryan on stage playing the bass, and this is a massive crowd, man. I mean,
I think that's main stage at Bonnaroo.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's back when Bonnaroo was 80 to 100,000 people.
Sure.
Man, you're making me really miss
I know.
live music now.
I just thought of that. I was like, are we ever going to see this again? You know?
Yeah. It's, I mean, that is like, you look, they are boots to
Packed
butts.
in.
They're packed in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was, we played, I wish I could tell you who we played right before. She's a badass and I can't remember her name, but we got to play the main stage at Bonnaroo that year. And I think my buddy Jeff Kravitz took that shot, the photographer. And that's a picture of my daughter next to Phil Collins on my T-shirt there that I photoshopped and put on there for no reason, just to make it look like it was her uncle. Yeah, yeah, but that's a good shot. It's just like it was just a sea of people. Nothing like it, man.
That's crazy. Well, hopefully one day,
Yeah,
we get back to that.
Ha!
So this, this is way back, right? This is
this is
Umphrey's
98.
Standing by the water here, all lined up. Ryan's almost in the middle here. So what? 98. So this is right as soon as you guys pretty much put out the second record.
This is exactly why my wife would call me a hoarder, and I will call myself a keeper of selected magical gems. Those ridiculous shorts I still have. I'm doing a virtual hang with Bayless tomorrow, and this has been a topic of some pretty funny discussion. And I pulled them out because I was like, man, maybe I should put these on. They are hilarious. They're like satin patchwork pants with leopard and zebra like velvet linings and belt. I mean, they're absolutely ridiculous.
90s,
and total 90s. Triple XL, but 32 waist. Yeah.
And I should have mentioned too that Ryan's the only one in the picture without a shirt on.
Yeah.
And these crazy shorts. Everyone's dressed pretty normal.
I didn't get the white T-shirt memo there that everybody else is in sneakers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like I've never been one to fit in. Yeah, it's pretty standard right there. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. So this is more recent. This is Doom Flamingo. You guys are on stage. Is this a show or just rehearsal? Or?
Okay, so Doom Flamingo during quarantine, everybody locked down for the first couple months, and then we all got tested and decided to record 2 1-hour live streams. One is Doom, where we all wore black, and it was all of our dark covers and darker songs, and then we did a Flamingo set where we all wore white, and Kanika's there in the center in the rainbow, and this is at the Poorhouse with nobody there, and I think you can go on YouTube and watch these. Depending on what vibe you're going for. You want the darker Doom, you want the Doom vibe, or if you want the Flamingo vibe. They're both about an hour long with some originals and some covers. But that's at the Poorhouse here, yeah. And then we did a third one that was all covers called Dutch Oven or Under the Dutch Oven covers, or I don't know what we called it. But we did another one. So there was so we'd have all three of what Doom Flamingo's capable of doing. So since we were locked here, we said we might as well record some stuff and let some people get some visuals of what we're all about as well.
Sure. I got to check that out. I love the cover, by the way, of Wicked Game.
Yeah. Thank you. We
really
try
cool.
to do,
really
we try to do some 80s synthwave spins and arrangements on some 80s classics too.
Sure. All right. Now this is
Mr. Bayless.
What's his first name? Sorry.
Brendan Bayless.
Brendan Bayless.
My right-hand man for 25 years. Yeah.
Very cool. You guys are wearing the basic shirts.
A little shameless plug here at the BASSIK at basicstasik.com. I've made some merch. This is for Bayless and I's side project there. The Baywatch or the Hulk Hogan looking T-shirts, but it's super fun. Him and I, we've been doing this for so long. We've been writing songs together since '95. We're going to play out on the beach. I think, like I mentioned, coming up here on Friday, and we do a bunch of covers and a bunch of originals, some jamming, and then some banter, tell some stories. Bayless is actually quite a funny guy. I don't know if people know that or not. So letting people in on it. The dude's pretty funny.
I got to check this out.
Yeah.
So these shirts you can get on BasicStasik.com, right?
The black and gold are sold out, but we do have a couple of the red and yellows. Yep. I'll have to make another Instagram plug.
Nice. So, well, this brings me to the next one. Where can I get this one?
Same thing, man. BasicStasik.com. That's my Run DMC shout out. Love it. Yeah, New York.
These are available. They're not sold out.
There's a few left. Yeah.
All right. So this is the Trans Am.
That's a '79 Trans Am.
Things like mint condition.
It's not in mint, but it's close. The guy who built it here, this is the lighting here is really nice here. I had just had it detailed because it was, man, when you got it stored here on the pollen and the ocean, the salt air. So notice the car seat in the back for Mickey. Got that secured in there, so I take the kids out. But yeah, being from Pittsburgh, I wanted black and gold. Trans Am has always been my favorite car. It's been my wife's favorite car. Something about the T-tops, it's just sexy muscle, man. Yeah. And so and I'm really starting to learn about my car too, because I'm not a mechanic and I'm not a car guy, but my brother-in-law just came in town and I was leaking gasoline, and the fuel line had rubbed up on the leaf board, had poked through the fuel line hose. So we just we got under there and snipped it off and reclamped it, and good as new. So I'm actually cruising around with it all week. Feels good when you save some money without having to, leaking gasoline. You're going to have it. I was going to have it towed, make an appointment. Then I didn't have the T-tops in. I got to make sure it's not raining, and then probably get charged $100, $200 on a simple $10 fix.
Right.
So it feels good when you can get under there and do it yourself. And I've never been a speed guy. Like, I'm not a motorcycle guy. I'm not a go fast dragster. I'm always like, I want to look cool and just cruise. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, no better car to do it in, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. So a little story behind this one, because when I originally asked you for the promo picture, you sent me a picture of you in these shorts, Santa hat on with the kiddos,
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I love the picture, but I couldn't use it because it was pixelated when I blew it up.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was like, we have to talk about them. We have to talk about that picture, when we get to it. But then as I went to your Instagram, I was like, oh man, there's a series of these fucking pictures.
The 12 Days of Christmas,
12 Days of Christmas. Is it really 12?
I think so.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So here's Ryan and his wife. She's in like a denim, bodysuit, and
that's the Jacksonville Jean Keeney, also available at Shinesty Threads. Yeah.
Oh, no shit. The same place that makes the Budweiser suit. Okay.
Yeah. They make the jorts Speedo, the denim Speedo.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you about. I mean, man, you pull it off. First of all.
No shame here. There is absolutely no shame here. My wife and I have been since 2008, back when Sears was still there. We're all about dressing up the same or doing ridiculous things, tons of costumes. We have classic stories of doing that. We used to go to Sears and take cheesy pictures together. We're always, awkward photos, like the awkward family photos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We would always look at those and be inspired. Like, what are we going to do? Because I get all these cards every year for Christmas from every family, and I'm not making fun of anybody and stuff. They're all beautiful families and everything, but they're all, they were similar. I was like, we gotta do something that's a little more
kind of white noise,
Yeah, a little more entertaining here. Let's just go for it. And someone sent a picture of I think they were naked, and I was like, well, let's wear our denim. This is a good time. One of our friends is a photographer, and we're obviously very comfortable with her there. So we got the kids over. But this is also like a Tuesday in December. I'm not afraid to walk around the beach and try to embarrass some kids.
Tuesdays, man. Tuesdays for you are just...
Tuesdays are awesome. Isn't today Tuesday?
It is. Holy shit.
Today's fucking rock, yeah.
Look at that, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is great. Now, are you going to do this again?
Something will hit oh, shit, it's already October, isn't it? I'm going to have to start thinking.
Yeah.
Something's going to have to jump out to us that we can do. But, yeah.
Did you send these out, too?
With social media now, it's like it's just much easier to post on social media. And then at one point, my wife was like, "Don't you think we're overdoing it? Like posting every day?" I was like, "Fucking 12 days of Christmas, who cares? It's hilarious." And plus, we paid for them. Let's put them out there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, this is the original picture you sent me.
Yeah, I had one with Mickey with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I was like a little worried that obviously, don't want to get the bad dad vibe going out there. She doesn't drink. She prefers tequila.
Yeah. Was this a Tuesday as well, or
it's all on Tuesday? It's all on Tuesday.
So I mean, this is fantastic. Obviously, your kids are great with it. They,
yeah, they're
like,
nuts.
She's not like, don't put this online or anything like that.
They don't know. The kids don't know anything about online yet. I mean, they know. I guess Amelia knows about like YouTube Kids and stuff, but they don't know anything about social media or anything yet.
Good. That's good. How old are they now?
Amelia's 7. We call her Punky, and Mickey is 2.5.
Wow,
she is a handful, man.
Very cool.
All hands on deck with her.
So any more on the way, or that's
no? I'm snipped, dude. I got snipped right after. I was like 2 girls. I was like, man, I'm gonna end up with the twin girls after this, and we're like, well, I can't have 4 girls. I was like, we're outnumbered. We'll be in zone defense. I want man on man or man on woman. We have our squad. I think the next thing, if anything, is an addition. It's gonna be a dog.
Sure.
That'd probably be the move.
Absolutely. This last but
I think that's 4th of July. That's 4th of July. That might have also been a Tuesday.
I think 4th of July was on a Tuesday this year.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of white thighs, so I was trying to LeBron's James my upper thigh there, and you could tell that it definitely needed some work.
And so just so people who are listening, we got Ryan standing on the front. It's the front lawn, right? You're on the front.
Yeah. There's a parade. I'm greeting the people in the parade. Yep.
Just is there really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there is.
Yeah, it's like a golf cart parade.
There's a whole line of traffic. The kids are outside hanging out, and he's just standing there with the what is this thing called again? I
think that's the Jort Speedo.
Jorts.
The denim. Yeah.
Yep.
Or the Jort Jong or something. I don't know what they call it. They got clever names.
Got the stash going, man. Looking good.
Yeah. Classic dad out there. Kid on the shoulders. I think that's a juice box.
Yep.
I'm a little ashamed of my white thighs. By that time of the year, I'm usually bronzed up.
Yep. Oh man, awesome.
Yeah, we started one late night at Bonnaroo. We started the Wu-Tan Clan, where basically all you had to do was come up with your own clever tanning name, and then you were in. And it didn't always have to be. My wife was Pamela Tannerson. I was the old skipper for the Pirates, Chuck Tanner. And it could be anything, you could have been
Danny Tanner from Full House.
Absolutely. any of the old presidents' work, but Pale Earnhardt Jr. It doesn't have to be just tan. You get in there, get creative with it. And I actually bought a website from like GoDaddy and paid for it for like 2 years and was making profiles with my friends. I'm like, what am I doing? This is costing a lot more money.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
This is way before social media where you could actually do it now for free. And maybe I should go back and get the Wu-Tan Clan and get it
Insta
running again. Yeah,
making a Wu-Tan Clan Insta. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. We're gonna wrap it up.
Awesome.
First off, you got so much going on. So normally I ask, what's next for you, but we went through a lot of that. You got Doom Flamingo, The Exorcist score. Your wife's doing this HGTV show.
Yeah.
You got the live lessons. Hopefully Umphrey's back on stage sometime soon. You got a lot going on. So can't wait to see everything that's coming up. Is there anything you want to add or mention that is coming up, or?
I think we hit pretty much all of it, man. Just super proud of my wife's new show coming out. That just happened yesterday. So yeah.
Very good. And the last question I have is, on a scale from 1 to hell fucking yeah, how stoked were you to be here today?
Dude. Hell fucking yeah, 11.
Hell fucking yeah, awesome. Everyone says 11. I love that. Great, great.
Spinal Tap.
I'm doing a good job.
If kids haven't seen Spinal Tap,
then
man, that's the next Friday night or rainy day. We're like, just get through it.
Yep.
You'll understand later.
I remember. I don't know if kids know who Spinal Tap is.
No, I'm sure they don't.
They don't know who Paul McCartney is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, isn't Paul the guy that Kanye gave his big break to?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There was a track. I think it was Kanye West, Rihanna, and Paul McCartney, and everyone was like, "Who the fuck is Paul McCartney?"
Yeah, I think I read a tweet or something. They're like, "Man, this Paul guy."
No good, guys. No good. Do your fucking research, man. Come on.
The Beatle.
Yeah. So that's that. Thank you very much for being here, man.
Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it.
right.
I appreciate it.
And let's keep in touch. This
Absolutely,
was
man.
Really cool time, and I love to remain friends with everybody. And
Get on that Wu-Tang Clan IG page.
Yeah,
Hopefully
that'd
I
be
don't get
great,
in
man.
Any trouble for that, but that way, if people want to join, they can just submit their own photo and name.
Absolutely, and thanks for having the whole pro set up. It really, you're setting the precedent for everybody else now. So,
Crispy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, people ask me, should I use my phone, my computer? Just look at the Ryan Stasik episode. That's what I want. I want, they got the studio in the background, some guitars, skateboards on the wall.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah. It's a mess, man. That's kind of how the studio is sometimes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Ryan, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
Have another fucking Raging Tuesday, dude.
You too, man. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Peace.